As students of spirituality, we are on the path to personal freedom, peace, and moving through life with fearlessness. One of the biggest challenges to our freedom is our need to cling to our perceptions and believe that they are true. But before I continue with our dialogue, let's agree for the purpose of our conversation that freedom is a state of being where we experience lack of restraints, confinements, or controls of any kind. So why would I bring up the idea of freedom in reference to perception? What's the connection? From a scientific point of view, we can say we are beings of perception. We exist to take in light from our surroundings and interpret it according to the limits and possibilities of the machine that is translating the information. On the other hand, we become trapped when we believe that the machine's conclusions are the definitive truth. If we do not have the awareness of this process, we will automatically be subject to the restraints and the restrictions of the machine rather than moving past them to a freedom of absolute consciousness. Everything that we believe we are is a perceptual idea of ourselves. We are a perceptual outlook of a machine from that machine of our perception, which is what we are. We believe only what we perceive we are. Even though we can perceive, we can see, we can know much more than what our perceptions are at this point in time. It's only up to us for us to recognize the perceptual ideas that is unknown to us and is out there to our understanding. If we open up our minds to understand that the perception that we believe, the perception that we see, the perception that we hear, the perception that we feel is only a perception of the machine that we are. That is all there is. The thoughts of our very mind is still only the perception of what we are. The thoughts is our perception. The perception is our thoughts. That's what is happening. That is what we are awakening up to into the next conscious state of evolution, which is collective consciousness of the perception of everything that we are. That initiates our perception to basically adhere to the perception of the surrounding thoughts and ideas. So therefore we adhere to that, and therefore our minds make us to believe that something is wrong or bad. This is what is. And this is what the mind does. The mind creates. Your mind told you that this situation was bad, and further judged that the other person to be wrong and irresponsible. The result of the interpretation was anger and resentment. In that moment you were trapped by the limitations of your machine, and fell for the conclusions your mind came up with in that situation. You lost your peace because you believed that what your mind was telling you. You thought it was truth, and you trusted it. As a result, you lost your personal freedom, and you were at mercy of your fear-based emotions. In Buddhism, the Diamond Sutra says, "Where there is perception, there is deception." As students of spirituality, we must use our awareness to transcend the way we've been trained to perceive, and to learn to see without the machine's constraints and preconceptions. This is true freedom. Having the ability to interact within this reality without being bound to our own points of view, opinions, and prejudices. This month, I challenge you. This year, I challenge you. Ask yourself, is this truth? Whenever you are in a situation where you are tempted to believe yourself, just see what happens. When all the colors of the rainbow are added together, they become crystalline. The all and the everything of the concept of color is no color whatsoever. To have color is to be only a slice of the whole. Thus, to understand the totality of pure light, one must traverse the entirety of the rainbow. Each of us is a color unlike any other, a hue of sparkling, irreproducible splendor that glints only for a brief flash in time. We are an irreplaceable piece of the whole, but at the deepest level we are also the whole itself. We are all made of the same fundamental and indivisible material, and so in the most basic sense we are exactly identical. We are consciousness that has given itself a form, a sense of separateness. Indeed we are each other. The only truth possible is that we are exactly equal. To consider another to be lesser than, or alternatively to consider one's own self to be greater than, is either way the same, an act of fearfulness, the fear of being alone. The karma of fear tends to manifest the very potential that causes that fear. To be insecure or arrogant and conceited tends to result in the same thing, loneliness. We are each an expression of each other. The charade of separateness and difference allows for the eruption of the illusion of the better than. Extraordinary attractiveness seems a gift on the surface, but it is, in truth, a great challenge for the spirit. It is precisely the same as being lesser. It is just another expression of being different. We are all attracted to the confident, respectful, humble other, but it is not especially true when we see that expression in a being that the immediate environment has defined as extraordinarily beautiful, or equally extraordinarily not beautiful. Either way, whether gorgeous or repellent, it is just us teaching ourselves that we are precisely the same as every other at our core. The karma of seeing beyond the shell is a thing of truest beauty. Remember the beautiful person who shunned you is just you when you last shunned someone because they were not attractive to you. The person you found ugly is just you wishing that someone, just someone, would read your poetry and not prejudge it by the scars on your face. Ultimately, it takes many of us to form a rainbow, but it takes all of us together to form pure light. Michael Nielsen, 2009, The Novel Thought and the Art of Lucid Dreaming.